Dr. Wade Brackenberry here, and I'm here today to talk about fake chiropractic and some things to watch out for. So the first thing I want to let you know is that if you ever see anybody, or anybody ever wants to do this to you, they want to turn your head to the side, and they want to yank up forcibly and twist the head at the same time, they are probably not a chiropractor. This type of manipulation is not taught in chiropractic school. It's associated with damage to the cervical spine, damage to the vertebral artery, and in some cases stroke and death. And so there are some chiropractors that do adjust the spine very carefully with the head sideways. But if you ever see them twist and lift, that's not a chiropractic adjustment. And it's very, very dangerous. And you'll see on YouTube a number of even Caucasian chiropractors who are performing this very dangerous maneuver. And up till now, we've received several reports of people who are very seriously injured from this. And worldwide, there's been a number of deaths by people who are non-chiropractors performing this very twisting, jerking maneuver without actually having the training as a chiropractor. Okay? So a chiropractor, generally, when they do manipulation of the neck, if we're manipulating from a seated position, the adjustment is very low amplitude, and it's very, very directed to just one vertebral unit. If each of these bones was a vertebrae, if I take a hold of the head and I twist and pull up, every bone is going to be affected. We're not doing something specific. The bone that's the least locked up is the one that's going to move and pop. A chiropractor, on the other hand, is going to isolate one bone that is locked, and he's going to put in a very, very high speed, but very low amplitude force into that bone to move it. And so a very well-trained chiropractor who's gone to chiropractic school, has a doctorate of chiropractic training, will do a manipulation to where when they finish the manipulation, the nose may only just move a slight amount. They're not going to be twisting the head really hard like that way. That's not chiropractic. And again, you can see a number of YouTube videos done by people claiming to be doctors of chiropractic in Vietnam doing these very strong twists, these very strong manipulations that twist and lift at the same time. And those of us practicing in Vietnam who have a doctorate of chiropractic degree, it frightens us. And the results are not good. Now, there are many manipulations that are taught in sports, such as boxing and sports like American football, and we call them locker room manipulations. They're locker room back cracks. And they usually have to do with doing something very specific and very sudden. So the first one I want to show you is this. Put your arm here, your arm here. And what they'll do is they'll bring this person back. I don't even know how to do it myself, but you go like this, and then you come over and you lift the person up. This particular manipulation is not taught in chiropractic school. It is not a chiropractic technique. And in fact, anybody doing this is most likely not a chiropractor. The next one I want to show you is a variation of what we call the full Nelson in wrestling. And again, children as young as 12 years old do this to each other in locker rooms, and they do this to each other at school, and some, like coaches will do this. And as a chiropractic professional, we do not believe it's a very good way to adjust people. But anyway, they put their hands behind their head like this, and the person puts their hand down like this. And again, this is from wrestling. This is a full Nelson mover, and they may wiggle around and lift up like this. And when they do that, some of the bones here might pop, some of the ribs might pop, some of the neck might pop. It's a very non-specific movement. And again, it's not ever taught in chiropractic school. There's no chiropractic school in the world that's a real certified, WHO certified chiropractic school that teaches this kind of pathological manipulation. And again, you can find people doing this on the internet here in Vietnam who are foreign nationals claiming to be doctors of chiropractic who have never studied chiropractic at all. Now, there are two professions in the world which perform manipulation. There are osteopaths and chiropractors. And both are very respectable and both are very good professions. Osteopathy and chiropractic both started in America. Osteopathy started, I think, about 40 years before chiropractic did. But we share many of the same ideas. However, our techniques of manipulation do vary some. So here's another clue that somebody is not a chiropractor. And if done right, this is a very good method of manipulation. Whenever you see the hand go behind the back like that, then most likely the person is an osteopath. They're not a chiropractor. And so people, it's also quite an easy technique to learn, to just simply stretch. But to do it well, it takes a doctorate level of training, and an osteopath has that. And we do have some courses where we can go take osteopathic courses, and some osteopaths are able to take chiropractic courses. We don't call ourselves a doctor of osteopathy if we haven't graduated from an osteopathy school. Ethical osteopath does not call himself a doctor of chiropractic, even if he's learned some variation of chiropractic technique. So usually, when we talk about correcting the spine through chiropractic adjustment, we are taking a specific bone and manipulating it in a specific direction. So sometimes it's this bone here that needs to move. Sometimes it's this bone that has come posterior and locked up and needs to move. So generally, the treatments we do are very specific. And they're very high force, and there's not a lot of motion. It's a very low amplitude. High speed, high force, very low amplitude. No rotation. We try to avoid rotation. So a very good clue that somebody has not been trained as a chiropractor is if you see them really rotate the spine like this. That's not a chiropractic adjustment. It's not taught like that in chiropractic school. A chiropractor will set up on the spine and say it's this specific bone that I want to move right here. The chiropractor will set up on this specific bone after studying an X-ray, and the manipulation will be very fast and very forceful, but without a lot of extra motion and with the avoidance of rotation. Sometimes you'll see somebody do this. And this is called an osteopathic manipulation. This is not chiropractic. Some chiropractors have taken courses in osteopathy and know how to do this. There are basically two types of manipulative therapists in the world that are really well known. One is osteopath and one is chiropractic. Both professions have their origins in America. Both of them in America are a doctorate level of training. But if you see somebody doing this and calling themselves a chiropractor, most likely they're not a chiropractor, especially if they're filming it and putting it on the internet, because no chiropractor would claim this as a chiropractic adjustment, it's an osteopathic adjustment. And again, as chiropractors, we have a tremendous respect for osteopaths and vice versa. They're both doctors. But you'll see a lot of people doing something that looks sort of like this, and it's not chiropractic. Okay? Again, one of the things that makes a chiropractor very different than somebody who just manipulates the body, one of the things that sets us as a doctor of chiropractic apart from somebody who is a fake chiropractor who doesn't have the training is our ability to analyze the spine and make specific correction. So whereas you'll see these very broad, crunchy manipulations that the fake chiropractors do, you'll see with a good chiropractor that they'll find a specific joint that's locked, and they'll put in a specific force to restore the motion and position of that joint. So if it was, say, T4, we wouldn't just, do it like that. We would find T4, we would count down, we would set up very specifically on T4, and then we would perform a very strong, but a very controlled manipulation directed to that area. And we wouldn't pick the patient up by his head and shake him. We wouldn't put the patient over our back and shake him. That's not chiropractic. It never has been chiropractic. And yet again, you can go onto YouTube in Vietnam and you can find Western people like me with Doctor of Chiropractic above their name saying they're doing chiropractic manipulations when in fact they're doing something they learned in the locker room probably at the age of 14 or 16.